این داستان دختریه که از دست شیطان فرار کرده.
I was 14. I was a schoolgirl by day and a sex slave at night.
دختری که مجبور شد بچگیش رو توی یه فرقه شیطانی توی ولز بگذرونه و مورد آزار جنسی رهبر فرقه و حتی مادر خودش قرار گرفت و مجبور شد با بیشتر از 1800 مرد بخوابه. سلام، به یه ویدیوی دیگه از حساس جنایت خوش اومدید. من محسا هستم و اینجا روایت جنایات واقعی رو انجام میدم. لطفاً همین الان کانال رو سابسکرایب کنید تا ویدیوهای بعدی رو از دست ندید. لایک و کامنت رو فراموش نکنید و اون زنگوله گوشرم بزنید تا وقتی ویدیوی جدید میاد ازش با خبر بشید. هویت دختری که راجع بهش حرف میزنیم به دستور دادگاه مخفی مونده و اسمایی که توی این داستان استفاده میشه از کتابیه که داستانش توش نوشته شده. نویسنده کتاب کیتی وایتسه که داستان رو از زبون خود اون دختر که اینجا بهش میگن آنابل شنیده.
It was difficult for Annabelle to tell her story, just to me, alone in a room. But I think she wanted to, and there were things that she'd never told anybody before. It's not something she talks about. So for her, I think the process was quite cathartic, quite healing.
داستان آنابل از شرق لندن شروع میشه. جایی که اون با مادر و خواهر ناتنیش زندگی میکرد.
My parents split up when I was 2, and the man of the house was my mum's partner, Alan. He was the dad of my half-sister, Olivia. I did know my own dad. He was affectionate with me and I liked him. But it was Alan that dropped me off and picked me up from school.
Have you had a good day?
Yeah, I've had a good day.
Yeah, fantastic. Come on.
He was more of a parent than my mum, Jackie. I don't remember ever having a cuddle from my mum or her reading me a story at night. I don't remember much about her at all.
جکی مادر آنابل به عنوان دستیار دندانپزشک کار میکرد و از کمک‌های دولتی هم استفاده میکرد.
One thing I do remember about my mum was she had this shark tattooed on her shoulder. And that's what she was like, gliding through my childhood. It wasn't that I was short on love. I had Alan and my dad and my mum's sisters and my grandparents, and they were all lovely.
She did have an extended family. However, the one person that really she craved love, attention and affection from was actually her mother, Jackie. And this was singularly missing. With children who are deprived of that, there's a vulnerability that makes them very susceptible to being groomed in the presence of any affection or attention that they might be given.
آنابل هنوز خیلی کوچیک بود که یه نفر وارد زندگی مادرش شد.
Annabelle wouldn't have been able to realize it, but her mother Jackie was getting closer and closely involved with this man Colin Batley.
کالین بتلی مردی که از 12 سالگی به دیگران تجاوز میکرد. درآمدش از قمار و بازار سیاه و روسپیگری بود. حالا میخواست زنایی مثل جکی رو پیدا کنه تا یه فرقه تشکیل بده. فرقهش بر اساس کتاب یه شیطان پرست مربوط به قرن 19 میلادی به نام آلیستر کراولی بود.
He seemed to believe what was written by him about the occult, about Satanism, about black magic, sex as well, but almost as a tool of power, if you like.
For Colin, this idea of the cult was an incredibly important thing because this was the tool that he was able to use to draw people in.
خیلی از زنها مثل جکی بچه داشتن.
There was a very clear pedophilic strategy of grooming in choosing victims very carefully.
How did a perfectly normal and strong woman become so easily led into Colin's world? I think that Colin had a certain aura to make people believe that there was more to it, that he really did have access to a higher realm, a secret to, eternal life.
تا سال 1997 کلیسای کالین 17 عضو داشت. کالین خیلی از اعضا رو راضی کرده بود که باهاش به کیدولی در ولز جنوبی برن و بچه‌هاشون هم با خودشون ببرن.
In that area, there's something like 900 square miles of basically nothing. And people can vanish if they choose to do so. There are all sorts of alternative lifestyles underway down there, tucked away, no one can see them, no one knows what's happening.
I hated it there. The house where we was living was rotten. It's like an old man's house. It's freezing.
Hello? I've told you I can't talk to you.
Is that my dad?
Nope.
Nobody came to see us, so I missed my aunts and my grandparents. Alan came with us, but it was obvious Mum didn't want him then.
Oi, Annabelle, come on. Come on, we're going to be late.
Go on, off you go.
She made him get work away, and gradually he stopped coming back.
Many sexual abusers isolate their victims from an extended family community network. In doing that, their power is increased because they become all powerful.
6 هفته قبل از نقل مکانشون به کیدولی، آنابل 7 ساله برای اولین بار با کالین بتلی روبرو شد.
Wake up, wake up. Downstairs now.
It was the middle of the night.
You know your family's come here to be part of something very special.
I was scared. The way you looked.
This is where your life in the church begins. This is going to be a difficult path for you, your mum and your sister.
I didn't know what he was going on about. I was 7. I'd just woken up.
Only you can find your way to the palace to avoid the eternal pain of the abyss.
At some point he made a gesture towards Jackie.
The evening in which Annabelle meets Colin Blackley for the first time, he demonstrates the power and the control he has over her mother. This will have been engraved on Annabelle's mind, the power he had over all the church members, including her.
Come forth, Annabelle. You're the chosen one. Come on, come forth.
He lunged forward and hooked an arm behind my knees and pulled me forward so I could see what was happening.
You can go to bed now.
آنابل 7 ساله که از اعضای دیگه خانواده‌اش تو لندن جدا شده بود، مجبور شد به مادرش نگاه کنه، در حالی که با کالین باتلی رابطه دهانی برقرار میکرد. آنابل توی ولز به مدرسه همونجا رفت، ولی خیلی زود تصمیم گرفت که دیگه این زندگی جدید رو نمیخواد و دوست داره که پیش پدرش زندگی کنه.
To live with my dad.
Okay, I'll arrange it.
I was surprised by her reaction. I'd expected a fight.
Why do you want to go to your dad's?
Just to.
Fine. It's your choice. I'll take you there right this minute if you like. But you do know, he won't look after you like your mum. Won't feed you, wash your clothes. But if that's what you want, we'll go right now.
I did want to go, but there was something in the way Colin spoke that made me doubt my feelings.
I'll stay here.
Good girl. That's your choice. And a good choice.
He always made it seem like it was your decision, and it wasn't.
بعد از 1 سال که توی ولز بودن، همه اعضا از جمله خانواده آنابل توی کیدولی نزدیک به هم خونه گرفتن.
I am alone. There is no God where I am.
اعضای گروه کالین هر یک شنبه جمع می شدن
Help me, O warrior lord of Thebes.
و کتاب قانون آلیستر کراولی رو می خوندن که بر اساس مصر شناسی نوشته شده بود.
Crowley claimed to have written the book after the words were dictated to him by a god.
The chosen priest is the prince priest, the beast, and in his woman, called the Scarlet Woman, is all power given.
An essential part of the book is that man must do what he wants to do, irrespective of any laws.
Drawing on the writings of Aleister Crowley, Colin was able to make people question The boundaries around behaviour within the family and sexual propriety, and having those barriers taken down and stripped away, he took away all semblance of what we would consider to be normality.
Let all chaste women be despised. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
I think the Egyptian iconography was quite powerful because of the nature of the symbols that were used. They were quite frightening, especially for young children to see, and that was part of the culture of fear that he was able to build up for the people around him.
Had a tattoo known as the Eye of Horus, which is known as the all-seeing eye. It's supposed to be a protective mechanism. It means that it can see everything, and Batley can see them. And in so doing, he can control them and protect them.
The church had loads of rules. You couldn't turn your back on the Egyptian gods or play with non-church kids or go to the park or the shops. No internet, no news, no cinema or restaurant, no alcohol for the adults. And if anyone asked, we was to say we was Mormons.
Colin would often refer to the rules of the church, and whenever he was challenged on these, he would then refer to something known as church secrecy. That's within church secrecy. I can't expand on those things.
Batley was able to maintain that his cult was part of a far larger church that even had headquarters in France, that there's some very powerful people involved who could cause harm if they wished. And that it would be better for them if they did what he said.
تمام مراسم فرقه پشت درهای بسته برگزار
When I was
می‌شد.
11, the test started. I didn't know they were tests at first. It was a hot day. The heat makes me feel ill.
What are you doing inside on a nice day like this?
He smelled horrible. Of old sweat and tobacco. He was minging. He put his hands on my shoulders and pinned me down. He pulled down the waistband of his tracksuit. I was 11 years old. I didn't know what was happening to me. He put it in me. And it hurt. It really hurt.
Told you I'd have you.
One of the things that Annabelle would have craved with the lack of affection and attention from mother was to feel special. We have to remember her father was not present in her life.
But you have to pass tests to go higher in the church and prove yourself fully to them.
Yes.
Is this your will, that you should do the tests?
Yes.
He very cleverly didn't say you must do this. He gave this to her in a semblance of choice. So for her at that time, it wasn't an act of abuse. It was an act of choice in order to become a fully fledged member of the church.
Her mother would play an active role in Annabelle's progress through the church.
It's time for you to learn the ways of the Scarlet Woman, the wife of the Prince Priest.
Then he said, there's no such thing as family. I was about to discover what he meant.
Colin's coming around tonight after school. He wants to see both of us together. Got it?
Jackie came under Batley's spell completely, even to the point of viewing her own daughter as somebody who Colin Batley could abuse whenever he wanted to, as if her own daughter was there, not for her, but for Colin Batley.
I felt numb. I mean, you're not supposed to have sex with your own mum.
He's asking them to break one of the last and few taboos, which is sexual activity between mothers and daughters and mothers and their children. And in breaking that taboo is actually a way of breaking the person's will.
Jackie would know that this is unacceptable behaviour, this is criminal behaviour, it's highly abusive, but she would justify it to herself in terms of her serving Colin's needs.
آنابل رو به جایی به اسم پارادایز لانج بردن که یکی از اعضای فرقه به اسم شلی و مادرش جکی هم اونجا بودن.
Annabelle discovered her mum, Jackie, was already there.
I was totally shocked. Not for 1 second had I imagined I'd be having sex with strangers for money.
Colin had really excelled himself, I think, when he came up with this wheeze to get all the girls to go and prostitute themselves to get money for him, and he made them believe that that was part of their spiritual quest.
Colin Batley already possessed Jackie's body and soul. He already possessed Annabelle's body and soul. And proof of that was to enslave them into prostitution. So they now became merely a commodity. It's about humiliation. He wanted to humiliate her in that and show her how powerful he was.
هدف آنابل 1854 مرد بود. اون خیلی زود به عدد 1800 رسید.
She got angrier and angrier as she was taken further away from her own daughter.
آنابل کم کم بخشی از پولی رو که در می آورد برای خودش نگه می داشت تا بتونه هزینه فرارش رو فراهم کنه. و در نهایت در ماه می سال 2009 تصمیم گرفت که فرار کنه. ولی اون نیاز به کمک داشت. توماس درباره کارهایی که آنابل انجام داده بود نمیدونست. ولی اونم مجبور بود همه درآمدش رو به کالین بده.
Find Alan, my mum's old boyfriend.
Yeah, I remember.
Go to the library. They've got the internet.
I'll sort it.
آلن رو خیلی راحت میشد از فیسبوک پیدا کرد و خیلی هم زود قبول کرد که کمک کنه.
Thomas was going to join us later. Colin lived next door and I was petrified he was going to wake and catch me.
Hello, baby. You all right? What's going on?
Can we just go? No, it's fine, it's fine.
Okay, babe. Come on. You just get in, yeah?
آنابل بالاخره موفق شد فرار کنه. ولی ترسی که از کالین توی ذهنش ریشه دوونده بود به این سادگی ها از بین نمی رفت. خطر و تاریکی جدید نزدیک بود.